We missed the chance for an April Fool's episode or like an April Fool's joke on D1R, but nonetheless, we're back for episode 93. I'm scrolling through the timeline and then looking at all these, like, there's some clever ones, like the Battlehawks. You see the Battlehawks
That one was hilarious.
So, for those of you who didn't see it, St. Louis Battlehawks, the XFL team, basically posted what looked like a real announcement that they're moving to LA.
Yeah.
Was it LA? And, dude, the people, I don't understand every single year.
Well, do you get the shot moving to LA?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Rams.
Sure,
yeah, of course. But, like, people are so gullible. Check the date. Check the timeline. It's ridiculous. Some of them are more fun. Like Northern posted the one with like the Mackinac Bridge painted the
Have
colors.
you ever done a D1
cool.
Rejects April Fool's?
We have not. We did one on NMU football, if you remember last year.
Yeah.
Was pretty
Little
funny.
Willie.
We switched up our logo for this little, like, very not so intimidating cat, which was hilarious. Decent Photoshop by me, I will add, if I do say so myself.
It was pretty good. I remember you showed me it in that geography class we had together. You're like, you came in all like giggly and excited, and you're like, Trevor, look at this.
Yeah, it's not bad. I was definitely pumped. I was definitely pumped. But today is March 3rd. This episode, we got Trevor Nowaske, the former linebacker from Saginaw Valley State, joining us. He has definitely made some noise as far as the pro circuit is concerned. His pro day at Saginaw, we talked a lot about that. Played in the Tropical Bowl, and from here on out, just trying to make it at the next level. So we talk with Trevor here very shortly. If you want to fast forward right to that conversation, use the timestamps on the bottom if you're watching on YouTube. Fast forward to any part of today's episode. Otherwise, though, NFL. And I guess before we got just me and our Trevor today in studio. Trevor, thanks for being here.
Of course.
NFL-wise, who's landing Odell? Jets and Ravens seem to be the two in contention. And we'll talk more about the potential deal that was offered to Odell later in the episode. And also potential teams for this year's Hard Knocks. There are 4 teams eligible to be on Hard Knocks in the fall. So kind of weighing the pros and cons of which team we'd like to see on HBO. Then college scene. The new NCAA president spoke about the NIL scene and some regulations he wants to improve, but definitely was adamant that he is for NIL and is not trying to cap the amount of money that athletes are making, which is a good sign for college sports, in our opinion, or my opinion. I shouldn't speak for you. Boise State football is the funny one that I'm excited to talk about today. They have an official brew on campus, and it is awesome, or it is under development. The official brew of Boise State football is currently under development.
Doesn't that just seem like such a Boise State thing to do, though?
The headline is so sick.
It really is.
Like, they're making a beer with their Horseshoe Collective, is their NIL collective that helps manage all their athletes' deals. We're going to talk about that one later. If you want to, fast forward, because I think it's going to be a fun one. But as otherwise, you can watch this episode on YouTube, like I said. Otherwise, listen pretty much anywhere, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. Follow us on Twitter, D1_Rejects, and Instagram/TikTok, Division1 Rejects, to see highlights from the show. Before we get into the D1 Rejects official beer. No, just kidding. Just Boise State official beer. Before we get into all that, let's go talk to Trevor from Saginaw Valley State. Joining us tonight, former linebacker, Saginaw Valley State here in the GLIAC, where he was a first-team all-conference selection this past year for the Cardinals. And as we had to double-check on our research, but he was the guy who sealed the game against us in the Dome. The fourth-quarter interception. Now he's doing everything he can to make it at the next level. Trevor Nowaske. Trevor.
Thanks for having me.
That one stung, dude.
Yeah, I thought you guys had us, honestly.
Shit, we did. Hey, we did too, pal. We did too.
Yeah, towards the end, we were kind of falling apart, and I forget what the play was, but yeah, he kind of threw it right across the middle, and I just jumped up and caught it, and then did a really weak slide. But it worked out. So yeah, we came out with it.
That's awesome. Oh, Keener had absolutely no idea you were there. Hey, great play by you, though. Kudos to you. Your right place, right time. Sometimes it's all you need, right? It doesn't have to be making a crazy play. You don't have to be Ed Reed back there. Sometimes you just got to have your feet in the right spot, dude.
Yep, absolutely.
I love it. But with you, I mean, before we kind of dive into some things, just want to know, like, what's the word with you? Where are you at in the process? Obviously, followed your career at Saginaw from afar, and then have you on those socials. So I see the check-ins, when you post things every once in a while. But where are you at? What's the latest with you, man?
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago, had the GLIAC Pro Day. Did well there. And honestly, right now, just been training. It's been very boring. I don't have a lot to report. The one interesting thing about training is it's really all on you. There's no, obviously you have a place to go, but they're not going to make sure you're there and whatnot. So there's been a couple people who've taken the week off or taken a couple weeks off, and
Really?
I just felt like there's only one shot for this, especially coming from a smaller school. So I've just been heading down, training every day, and it's really it. Been going to bed pretty early. Nutrition's been good, but that's about it.
I love it. I remember watching, it was the Hard Knocks with the Texans. If you guys remember, it was J.J. Watt had his own room in the facility. It was like behind a janitor's closet with a bed. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Dude's talking like he gets 10, 11 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell. I don't even know how he could manage that. I couldn't do that if I tried. I'd feel like a piece of shit. I wouldn't even know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
But I think that's funny you talk about, though, like the mundane, like boring training, because you're doing a lot of the same things over and over again. You're preparing for drills, because ultimately for guys like you, that's what's going to put you on the map, right? Those numbers that separate you from the rest of the pack.
Absolutely.
I think that's funny, because I think a lot of guys, and they give you the basic answer of like, yeah, it's just time to put my head down and work and grind, and every day is new. Like, yeah, that's all good and well, but like at the end of the day, that shit's got to take a toll on you. I mean, for real.
At the end of the day, like you said, like the drills you're doing for the pro day. So you're not like trying new stuff or what. You got to do the same stuff, for 2 months. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're doing Monday. I'm doing this. Tuesday, I'm doing and that's what you got. Like you said, that's what you got to do, especially coming from the GLIAC if you want a chance.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Now, little bit of maybe a lull or kind of like a down right now as you're preparing to make whatever that next step is for you. What about the other side of things? Highlights from this kind of journey, like I said, from finishing up the season in the fall to now. If there was a bright spot along the way, or a point where you really kind of all came together and it really hit you, where was that point?
I would say I went to the Tropical Bowl, and that was more of a kind of Division I FBS bowl where there was a lot of those guys, and that was very eye-opening because coming from a smaller school, you're always in the back of your mind, can I play with these guys? I've never had that opportunity. I'm very confident in myself, but at the same time, there's always going to be that doubt in the back of your head. So when you get there, and I'm talking to guys from Virginia Tech, Ole Miss, just conversations about kind of their journey through football. And all of a sudden, like you said, you kind of take a step back. You're like, man, this is pretty cool. I've made it this far in my journey. And one of the most interesting things, you're talking to the guys about the NIL money, which is crazy.
Really?
Just stupid money from the one guy at Virginia Tech. I forget, it was like 20 grand for the semester or something. I was like,
so what do you have to do on his end? Did he say?
I think you
and we'll leave obviously names and everything, but like, yeah.
I think you had to start.
No shit.
That's it. I mean that's no small feat, but
you show up on the field on Saturday, and this check gonna show up in your bank account.
It was, and he said it so like, that's just normal. And I'm, I'm sitting here like, dude, I gotta fight for a meal plan.
That's great. I gotta fight. That's legit though. Like that's real stuff. And we're gonna talk about some NIL stuff. We've got some funny NIL stuff to talk about later in the episode. Boise State their NIL collective is making an official beer for the football team, and like, dude, it's NIL is going crazy. The new NCAA president is talking all about new regulations and things. It's going to look way different in 6 months than it does now. But for now, man, that stuff is unreal. But on the Tropical Bowl, before you posted that was kind of the first time it actually been on my radar. Now, obviously, I'm no like draft or NFL talent evaluator, so I'm not like super in touch with a ton of this stuff. But when did that get put on your radar? How long did you know about it before you actually got the invite to go out there and play?
I think it was pretty. So I posted on Twitter my football highlights.
Yep.
And that kind of got the ball rolling for me in terms of finding an agent. I found my agent through social media. He hit me up through there. And then he kind of helped me get into that bowl game. They hit me up. And I had a couple other, kind of how the bowl circuit works is there's like the top, like the Senior Bowl, the NFLPA, the Shrine Bowl. And then like right under that is the Tropical Bowl. And that's probably like the last big Division I bowl game, and then there's a lot of smaller Division II FCS ones. So I kind of weighed my options, and like I said, I really wanted that opportunity to kind of face that Division I talent. And yeah, it was probably a month, maybe a month or two after, probably a month after the season. It was in January, so probably December is when I found out I was accepted into it. So
I got you. Then talk about too, like those days leading up to it. I guess I don't know how long you were there before the actual game was played, but talk about, like you said, like football in itself by nature of the sport is already interesting enough because you have a locker room of over 100 guys that could have the most drastically different backgrounds, right? That's what makes it, I think, so much more unique than so many other sports. And then on top of that, now you're taking that already super diverse place and picking different people from all over the place and throwing them on another team for just a couple days. I mean, the NIL conversation was already kind of the start of that, but talk about the interactions with those guys leading up to it. I'm just kind of curious to know from the guys who have gone through that, what those days leading up to the game are like.
Yeah. So the one interesting thing that I didn't realize was the practices are almost more important than the games.
Really?
Yeah. So for the most part, the scouts are really, because when you're in practice, how it worked at the bowl games, there was a lot of one-on-ones, a lot of opportunities where it's just solely you. Obviously in the game, there's 11 moving parts, but within practice, there wasn't a lot of like individual like periods and like going over scheme and whatnot. We got a playbook about a week before, and you kind of just simple like cover one, cover two, base, and stuff like that. The interactions were interesting for sure because everyone's there for the same goal, right? Not to be blunt, but like no one's there to make friends. No one's there to whatever. Everyone's trying to make it. So I wouldn't say, I met some really cool people, but I wouldn't say at the same time there was very like long conversations and whatnot. It was
You're not inviting these guys to your wedding. Yeah,
exactly. I had a great time with the linebackers, met some really interesting dudes, but at the same time, we're all there for the same mission, to get noticed and to try to make it to the next level.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And I think that's what I was going to ask. What next is kind of the scheme of all that too, because you're not going to go in there and they're throwing a Bible of install at you, because that would make no sense, right? For these evaluators and these people who are looking and trying to figure out talent and find talent, like they just want to see you perform on a football field, not at a pro day, right? Because a guy like you, we talk about your pro day at Saginaw a little bit. You had some great numbers. Now, how does that translate to the field? How does that translate to play? Because I know my Trevor, we've been around guys that can lift but can't play for a lick, or vice versa. Can play great on the field and can't lift in the weight room. So we know it doesn't always translate. So that was always interesting to me. Now, as far as the coaches at these type of bowl games, what do they do? What is the contact with them like beforehand? Do you meet the linebackers or defensive guys right when you show up, or is that something that you get into contact with them before you arrive?
Yeah. So the first day was a lot of, it was almost like probably like if you were like a freshman first day at camp,
I love that.
You meet the coach for an hour or two. If you have any questions on the playbook, you address them then. And then from there, there wasn't too much interaction with him because at the same time there was critiquing. Like he coached us, but at the same time, like you said, they just kind of want to see you out there.
Yeah.
They don't want to complicate things. They want to see how are you naturally out there on the field.
I hear you, man. Now let's go on a little bit of a different track here. You retweeted it, so I'm assuming the source is decent. Going to the Lions local prospect workout?
Yeah, so that's next week.
Sweet, dude.
The 11th. I'm excited for that. And I've talked to a couple people. From what I've been told, it's just kind of like drill work.
Okay.
You'll go in the classroom. They'll pick your brain on some of the stuff. Just see how you think through things.
Yeah. Is that something that your agent also helped you kind of like, or is that something that's already on your map?
I think that was more after my pro day. Things have definitely picked up since my pro day.
Yeah.
So like you said, just trying to get on a radar. And then I talked to a scout, and from what I've been told, I'll be going to that. So I'm very excited.
That's sick, dude. Hey, are you a Lions guy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Diamond. So that'd be
dude. Even if it's just, a mini camp invite or whatever it is, as long as you get like an opportunity, right? I mean, that word is thrown around so much, but like you said, you're confident in yourself. Now you've seen I can play with these guys, like no matter what. That'd be sweet, dude. You see Trevor in the Honolulu Blue.
Honolulu Blue.
That'd be pretty awesome. Badass, dude. But let's talk about that pro day over at Saginaw. It's really, like I said, you separated yourself, put some great numbers out on paper when you tested. Run me through that day and kind of the prep going up to that. I know I saw the one interview you gave a hell of a quote, by the way. The biggest interview of my life. Dude, I know whatever, I'm a news guy too. I know whatever news, like reporter, whoever was talking to you was like, he heard that, his eyes probably lit up because he already knew what the headline of his story was going to be. So you made his job easy for him.
Yeah. That was actually really funny because, so we're just warming up. I'll get back to the pro day, but like we're warming up and my coach calls me over. And not to be rude or anything, but I'm locked in. Like, I don't really want to talk to anyone. Like, I woke up, didn't even really talk to my parents. Like, and I'm just like really, really focused on like what I need to do, and my coach is like, hey, the local news wants to interview you. And I told him at first, I'm like, no, like, I don't think I'm in the right headspace for that. Like, I'm focused on benching, and I felt kind of bad because I was pretty short with the guy. So if he's watching this, I apologize. But yeah, no, it went well. Going into the pro day, probably a week out, like, I guess a lot of people have asked me, like, I did put up some good numbers, and did I expect to do that? Yeah, you kind of know when you're training what you're putting up because obviously everything's tested.
I would say that ain't the first time you went out there and ran a 40, did a 3-cone. Like,
yeah,
that'd be something. I mean, if it was, that'd be crazy as hell. But
maybe I should have said that. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so I knew what I was capable of doing. And then it's really just going out there and trusting the training. I had a really good group of guys that I trained with, and our trainer Jim, shout out Jim, he got us right. And it's really interesting, some of that stuff, because when you come into college or you've played football, you think you know how to run a 40, you think you know how to do the shuttle and stuff, and it's really a lot of steps, a lot of like minor details that you would never think about that could change like drastically. So
yeah, you get humbled, man.
Yeah,
you got. I mean, that's like, they talk about the Army like that, right? Too, like they break you down to build you up. And I think, I haven't served, I haven't been in the Army, but I have to imagine that college football is some different version of those same ideas, right? They break you down and they build you up into the person that they want you to be. And sticking on the pro day, I gotta imagine that you guys love the fact that you're able to do that on your home turf, right? How many Division II teams can say they're able to hold a pro day like that and attract, professional scouts in the NFL, CFL, even USFL and XFL? Like, it's like alliteration trying to say all those at once. It's a lot more difficult than I thought.
It was.
How special is that, man?
Yeah, it was cool. I kind of, after our pro day, I was kind of taking a look at some of the other, even like bigger schools, Division I schools, and you would look at the attendance for how many teams are there. And we stacked up there with some of the best of them. I mean, obviously, we're not getting all 32. It is what it is. A lot of how it works with Saginaw is we would set it up with, so I think Eastern's was before ours at 8 a.m. And so they would come from Eastern to Saginaw's just so it's in the same area and the same.
That makes sense. That's smart.
Yeah. So no, we do it very smart, and we did a great job of organizing it, and it was a great turnout. Like you said, there was other leagues there as well, and you really couldn't have asked for a better day, and it was a good turnout.
Gotta imagine that's a big recruiting piece too. Imagine going into a high school with a lot of kids down there, like a lot of kids anywhere, right? Like a lot of kids are trying to play at that next level, trying to play whether it be NFL or one of those other leagues that we had mentioned. That's got to be big to go and sit at a kid's table and be like, yeah, there's going to be pro talent evaluators, pro scouts that'll be watching you on this field after you show out wearing the Cardinal red, for a few years here.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. Like, I remember, so I think it took a year off because of COVID, and then we did it last year. And I remember as a junior thinking, like, this is sweet. Like, I'm pumped for next year. It's just a cool atmosphere. And if that's something you're interested in doing, trying to pursue the next level, like, what better way to, like you said, to kind of recruit kids at a Division II level, like, that you have a chance. Like, it's tough, but we give you guys opportunities.
Oh yeah. Hey, I come from Lake Orion. That's Jeff Heath, man. So
yeah.
I know all about that. So Jeff was obviously the man, came from Lake Orion, really didn't have any offers, went to Saginaw, showed out there, gets an invite to the Dallas camp, and Next thing you know, he's a team captain. He
Yeah,
works his way up in
seriously.
special teams and has just had a prolific, long career in the NFL. Made some pretty generational money, which is awesome for him.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
hey, you can make it from anywhere, brother. There's a lot of guys that'll give you the same story. But saw there were, like I said, some people from the USFL, XFL in attendance. Have you explored any of those opportunities yet? What are the next steps moving forward for you?
Yeah. So I guess explore those opportunities. I'm open to, anywhere. Obviously the goal is the NFL. And after my pro day, it's picked up. So I've talked to a lot of scouts, and I'm kind of seeing, beforehand, obviously, like, you're looking in the back of your mind, like, well, if it doesn't work out, I could play here or whatnot. But I'm pretty confident after, just kind of going through this journey through the bowl game, like you said earlier, I'm very confident I can play at the next level and I can play with those guys. So that was, kind of checking it off the box. And then the pro day, you can see the numbers and kind of see where I stack up. It's all out there. So no, I mean, I'm open to anything, but obviously right now the goal is to make it to the NFL. So,
my man. Even if and it's like, you say to everyone, even if it ain't point A to point B, right? Everyone's routes, everyone's paths look different. Even to college football. Then you're talking about the NFL. So success is not always linear. There's all these bends and curves, but shit, man, I'm gonna be excited when you do end up there, brother. You got some fans in us over here.
Appreciate it.
Of course, man. Hey, but that's all I got for you. That flew by. Like I said, I appreciate you coming on, dude. I'm excited to see you in your gaming chair, maybe on some bigger shows in the future.
I'm sick about the gaming. I should have. Sick, but no,
hey, it's
man,
about lumbar support, brother. You can't be out there opening the hips if your back's bad. You know what I mean? You got to be getting those. I love it, dude. But Trevor, appreciate you, man. Seriously, thank you, dude.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Have a good one, man. We'll be in touch, all right?
All right. Sounds good.
See you, dude. We're back from the conversation with Trevor. Trevor and I are back from Trevor. And that was good. I think we had talked about after we finished it. We were like, we got him to loosen up a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like I had said to him before I hit record, like he's been on all these shows that, I mean, literally, it is not to rip on, I won't say names or anything, but it's QA, and it's just a regimented, like, back and forth. Well, there is no back and forth. You have your time to talk, and then you're cut off, and then it's next question. It's like they just follow a sheet. Mm-hmm. And it's so frustrating as like a host or like interviewer of any type, because that's just lazy, right? Yeah. It's lazy. And you see a lot of those right about now because you have all these prospects and all these shows are just trying to get on the map. I mean, shit, me included. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get these guys on here, but more so to tell their stories than to put me out and to be on, platforms or whatever. But really enjoyed talking with him. And you know what? What I should do is pull up his numbers, because when you take a look at his numbers, the way that he tested, I think a lot of our conversation will make a lot more sense. So give me just a second. Here it is. So it's on that relative athletic score that we've seen a lot of as of late, and I will pull it up here. A 9.85 on the RAS. And so for those of you listening, I'll kind of read off some of these. Vertical, 34.5 inches. Broad jump was over 10 feet. That's the 40-yard dash, he ran a 4.49 laser? Are you shitting me?
That's crazy. For
a linebacker?
Yeah. That is ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. His 20-yard split and 10-yard split were also in the elite categories, according to this. Shuttle was a 4.2, which, again, very solid. The 3-cone, a 6.75. Anything under 7 in the 3-cone, I mean, you're working with something pretty special right there, I think, right? Yeah. That's impressive, dude. That is really impressive. Holy cow. I kind of glanced at this before, but I guess like after taking a better look at it, like I think it makes a lot more sense when I think some people don't understand when we have like, especially a D2 guy on here and we're talking like, we're talking because we believe he has an actual shot to go play at the next level. The numbers don't lie, right? They actually show you that is very real. But we can move on. NFL side of things. The Jets and the Ravens are in on the mix for Odell Beckham Jr. And I believe it was, I'm not sure, I think it was first reported by Adam Schefter, who then went on, was it Get Up earlier today? What is that? Looks like NFL Live. He's on NFL Live talking about it a little bit. But the Ravens have reportedly offered wide receiver Odell Beckham a contract via Adam Schefter. Seems that the Jets and the Ravens are the two teams in the mix for Odell, with the Rams also possibly in the mix. The Rams, a seemingly unlikely option, maybe a backup option for Odell. And I guess the first thing that jumps out to me from those teams, the quarterback situation for both of them.
Currently, neither one of them really have a quarterback.
Yeah. That's why maybe the only reason the Rams are in the conversation.
Because he might just be like you said, a backup plan. The Rams are just like there and just in case for him. Because I'm going to guess the Rams are definitely going to want the least amount of money for him.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, and they don't have the money.
That's also very true. And they might be putting Stafford on the trading block. We don't know. Like, Stafford might just be done. Dude.
No, that's weird.
Yeah, very odd.
You got to think the Ravens. Could that be like one more thing to try to get Lamar to come back? Like,
very true. Yeah.
We're finally trying to get you weapons.
It was reported he's lowered it since then, but originally he was asking for around $20 million
for a 1 year.
That's what it sounded like.
Well, Odell, he hasn't been good and he hasn't been healthy. And
I'm gonna say not about good because he has been good when he is healthy.
Yeah.
But when you're coming off an injury like this, you're not going to get that kind of money in this market. I mean, you're not going to get this kind of, even though he's an established name, obviously could be a threat in really any offense in the league. He has since reportedly lowered that asking price because no team was willing to pay it.
I mean, it's kind of a prove it year for him, so he can't be asking.
Not kind of.
I mean, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So he can't ask for that kind of money when it's 100% a prove it kind of year. He should get like a contract like, of course, I'm using the Lions as an example, but DJ Chark, kind of like, what was that, 1 year, 9?
You're talking about this, not the one that he just signed with the Panthers, but for the Lions.
Year.
Yes, you're right. I think you're spot on.
Or was it 1 year? I don't remember what it was exactly.
That ballpark.
It was around $9 million, but it was like a prove it year, and then now he got a better contract.
Because he balled out.
Played
pretty well. When he was healthy. When he was
healthy,
available. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, the QB situation. The Jets, like, do they or do they not have Aaron Rodgers? Why has this been drawn out so long? It's becoming pretty ridiculous. And we've talked at length about Lamar, the restrictive franchise tag situation they had in Baltimore, and now he's requested a trade, I guess, even though he's a restricted free agent, which is the whole situation just reeks of him not being in Baltimore. But then again, no NFL teams are interested, apparently.
Yeah, and whole situation's weird. It comes back to the Lamar thing. It comes back down to Deshaun Watson messed up the whole QB market.
It certainly does.
And it's hurting. It's really hurting Lamar.
And now, though, if you're Odell, why are you even considering the Ravens? Because outside of Lamar, what is so enticing about that offense? The team is obviously solid, but then you take Lamar out of the equation.
They did get a new offensive coordinator.
Did they?
It's the Bucs offensive coordinator with Jameis Winston.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah,
so very different. I mean,
that doesn't mean they're not going to run the ball,
of course, but just a different way of a different philosophy, right?
I think he was there when Doug Martin was good too.
Okay,
so they like to run the ball too.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing that like maybe a month ago. So that they definitely are changing their offense.
Yeah, which could be a plus for him.
Yeah.
Because obviously, and Lamar's thing is that he, I shouldn't say he has been saying this, but the fans of Lamar, and rightfully so, have said like he hasn't had weapons to throw to, right? Like Mark Andrews, sure, but like
I don't think
Hollywood Brown, like no.
I mean, he's good, but not elite.
Not a wide receiver.
He's not elite. Yeah, he's a good wide receiver too.
Yep.
I think like with the whole Lamar thing now, it has nothing to do with him not wanting to go back to Baltimore. I think that it comes down to money. They're not going to pay him. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're correct. Yeah,
I think he enjoys being in Baltimore.
Well, yeah, I think he's pretty much said that openly, right? Like he wants to be a part of the Flock Nation. You know what I mean, or whatever he called it. But it's just that the money, he feels he's earned it, and a lot of people would argue that he definitely has.
Yeah,
he's definitely made a case for it, right? It's just that I guess we don't know exactly how much he's asking for, and he's probably asking for it fully guaranteed.
Yep, that's exactly what he's doing, which is, from the Ravens' perspective,
it's hard.
It's hard. I know we're talking about Lamar when we're supposed to be talking about Odell, but
that, I mean,
I think it's important because, like, why would Odell want to go there?
If Lamar's not there, I don't think there's any reason to go to the Ravens.
Snoop Huntley throwing him the ball? Self-proclaimed name, Snoop Huntley?
I didn't know that.
When
was that? No, when was that come out?
I think I think it might have been Schefter. Was like the first.
Schefter reported that Tyler was going by. It's
Snoop,
Tyler, right?
Yeah, it's Tyler Huntley, but apparently everyone calls him Snoop.
Is that an alter ego? Like when Dion puts on the sunglasses and is now prime?
No, I think that's actually like what people call him.
Oh, it's not even an alter ego, it's just an ego.
Like that's just his nickname. Like he's Tyler Snoop Huntley.
That's funny.
I didn't know you didn't see that.
I did not see that. That's pretty funny. I haven't seen much of him off the field, honestly. I don't.
Pro bowler.
Yeah.
Snoop Huntley.
That's true.
He's a
He
Pro
was
bowler.
a freaking Pro Bowler.
He had more interceptions than touchdowns.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
The Pro Bowl was a joke this year. He was a Pro Bowler, and then Derek Carr, who did not have an NFL team, was a Pro Bowler because he got benched.
Let's talk about Derek Carr and his Saints. They are one of 4 teams eligible for Hard Knocks.
What a transition, Cody.
In 2023. That wasn't bad, was it?
That was
one of my better ones.
You're welcome.
I
laid it up for you. Nice little.
The D-Wade picture with Braun. But they're one of 4 NFL teams eligible for Hard Knocks in 2023. The other 3, the New York Jets, the Chicago Bears, and the Washington Commanders. Honestly, the Saints might be the team I want to see. Although I will say, I don't know if I want to watch Jamal on another team's Hard Knocks. Right after a year after he was on ours, probably doing all the same stuff. And
I bet they won't pick him. Like, how does that work? Like,
but
does HBO get to pick who they want?
I really don't know who makes the final decision. But as far as we can tell, their coverage of Jamal from when he's in the Lions, the NFL has made him like a poster boy. Like, oh, look at this guy. And it's rubbed a little bit the wrong way now because it's got a little bit old, I think. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, look at this football player that loves anime and he knows what a Pokemon is. He's so quirky and cool.
Yeah. This is also biased because we're Lions fans.
Absolutely.
We might just be.
Yeah, because he turned down what was supposedly a decent offer and then to test the waters of free agency. And then when he came back, they didn't have the same money for him. That was all the stories because Brad and then the boys were trying to keep him around, I think.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah. So, I don't know. In this situation, he kind of seems like the salty ex-girlfriend, but maybe that's us.
Maybe. Anyways, back to what teams I want on Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks.
Not the Commanders. That'd be so boring.
I said Commanders are probably my 4. There's just like, is there anything interesting with them besides their ownership, drama, and probably selling the team?
No, I mean, Ron Rivera is going to be the most boring coach there is.
Which,
he's
by
a
the
great
way,
guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Thank you for preface, because I think all of his players run through a wall for him. But as far as Hard Knocks goes.
From Hard Knocks is what I'm saying. He's not a great,
100%.
He's just, yeah. I mean, they don't even have a quarterback. They have Sam Howell.
They do not have a quarterback. And Jacoby Brissett they just signed.
The best backup in the NFL. Congrats. That'd just be so boring.
It would be, dude. So then you look at the Jets, assuming they land Aaron Rodgers.
That would be awesome.
That's an obvious, that'd be a great pick if Rodgers is there. Then you bring in the personalities like Sauce Gardner coming off the insane year that he's had.
Breece Hall is a good character.
Breece Hall is a good character. The whole drama with Zach Wilson, whatever the hell ends up happening there. I mean, there's going to be a lot of drama around there, assuming they get Rodgers, right?
Yeah. If they get Rodgers, I think they're a lock to be on Hard Knocks.
I'd probably agree. And again, we have to figure out who may. I may just Google it real quick. Who makes the decision? Yeah. But then look at the Bears.
I wouldn't watch any of it if the Bears were. But that comes from a Lions fan. Yeah. But I could not care less.
I'm just trying to think storylines, like building around Fields. A lot of probably about the draft, right, and their picks, the trade, right. A lot of that stuff. Whoever they bring in, and free agents, right? The big linebacker additions that they had over there. I'm trying to think where else they kind of shored up.
O-line a little bit.
O-line a bit.
I don't remember what exactly, but I know they got some O-linemen.
Exactly. But I think it might be tough to find a ton of storylines about the Bears right now.
The Bears are just boring.
They are.
What's exciting about that team, to be honest with you? Sorry, Jimmy, if you're listening, but there's just not that much that's exciting about them.
No, I'm 100%.
They're going to go. They're still going to be rebuilding this whole season, and is that exciting to watch a team that I don't know that just don't seem very exciting to me?
Yeah, I don't know. It says right here, just according to this article on DraftKings, it says a franchise can be forced to be featured on the show if they have a head coach who is not with the team in the previous season, have not made the playoffs in the previous 2 seasons, and have not been on Hard Knocks in the past 10 years.
Huh?
This is according to DraftKings. That's odd.
Yeah.
That's really odd. So that last year, the Lions, the Jets, and the Panthers were the only 3 teams that would have been forced to be on Hard Knocks if they were selected. And that was the first time the show followed the Lions since it debuted in 2001.
First off, I didn't know Hard Knocks was that old.
Neither did I. But
It wasn't.
so if you meet that criteria, HBO shows up at your front door and we're coming in with the whole crew, and you can't say jack shit about it.
That's kind of crazy. I did not.
Neither did I. Again, according to DraftKings, but that was just the first thing that popped up when I Googled basically how do they select Hard Knocks. And to round out the conversation, I don't think the Saints would be bad because Derek Carr, obviously,
That's a good storyline.
new head coach.
Coach.
Could they be forced though?
Jameis Winston is a good.
Jameis Winston on Hard Knocks would be electric.
Yeah, it'd be great. He would be great.
Jameis actually inspired one of our. Maybe I shouldn't air this out. He inspired one of our play calls at Northern. They ain't listening for that shit. I can say whatever. So shout out Jameis. Dog.
That just connected in my head right now.
Really?
Well,
Winston?
Yeah.
No way.
I didn't think about it really.
That's awesome. I'm good. I'm glad I could do that for you. But no, I think Aaron Rodgers lands in New York. The obvious pick, right? I don't think there's any question about that. Let's move over to the story that I'm really excited about, Trevor. That is happening over at Boise State. And why? Wait a minute. The link I had is not working. Did they delete the tweet, Trevor?
No.
Oh, no.
When was this posted?
Like, semi-recently. I could absolutely just be...
Was it posted on April 1st?
No, there's like articles and things backing this up. This is
okay.
Certainly...
Well, if it was just one link, they got deleted. I was just...
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I would look really bad in that situation, wouldn't I?
You would never do that, though.
Right?
You're more professional. You're more
think?
professional than that.
Trevor, I can't find it. Trevor, I can't find it. Did I get hoaxed?
You're ruining this whole show now.
Oh, my shit. No. Okay, look. So this article, this is on3.com, which covers all like big NIL deals in the college athletics landscape. And so right here, basically, this is verbatim right here. Boise State fans will soon be able to indirectly help the Name, Image, and Likeness Collective that supports the school's athletes by drinking beer, specifically the Horseshoe Golden Ale. Last Wednesday, ale. I don't know why I said that. Last Wednesday, the Western Collective Brewery started the brewing process for the Horseshoe Golden Ale, which is a co-branded beer that's marketed in conjunction with the Horseshoe Collective. So that the Horseshoe Collective is the NIL opportunities for Boise State athletics. And it's pretty interesting stuff, man. Why can I not? That's going to bother me now that I can't find the tweet, though. Because I just wanted to see. Let's see.
I found the article works.
Did you?
Yeah, well, the one you're reading. It popped right up. But the tweet.
Yeah.
Let's see the tweet. Maybe it's just you.
Maybe it is just me, dude. That is so... Did I get hoaxed?
This tweet has been deleted.
Was it from Front Office Sports?
Yes.
It was? So they deleted that within a matter of hours because I just put this rundown together. That's really odd. So maybe they had some misinformation on there or something. But the basic idea is that this Horseshoe Collective, it was launched in September of 2022 as a 501c nonprofit organization whose mission is to, quote, raise awareness for local charitable causes by pairing them with community-minded Boise State football student athletes seeking to use their NIL to make positive impact on our community. Okay, so not just making deals, but it's more about like actually giving back, charitable organization. I like that. But it's pretty neat.
For every pint sold, Western Collective will donate 10 cents to the Horseshoe Collective.
That's what I saw.
And if you do the math...
Now, could you... Go ahead.
Their projections are $24,000 in the first year.
Could you imagine, though, like, being on Boise State's campus, going out on a Saturday night, like, we got to go support the football team, fellas. I know it's December or January, but we got to go support the team tonight. Get about 4 pints deep.
Do it for the team.
This is for you, boys. This is for you. That's awesome, dude.
It is awesome.
It's just giving validation to the school of drunks. That's probably a better way of saying that, but that's hilarious, dude. I love that. It's true.
It's smart.
Let's that sucks. I wanted to pull the tweet up and get a little more depth, but you got the basic idea out there. Let's see if this tweet from Front Office Sports still works, or maybe their whole page is just down. Oh no, this is actually from an article from Front Office Sports. So in this one, we're talking about the new NCAA president. His name is Charlie Baker, for those of you who do not know, and he's talking about the name, image, and likeness, the NIL landscape in college athletics. Right? He just finished his first month on the job for NCAA. And his biggest priority, he said, is getting new name, image, and likeness regulations passed. Now, his biggest ideals right now, one, is creating what he calls a uniform standard contract for other transactions like, mortgages, like just something that's like a standard type of setup. That way, it's not so freelance all over the place, right? He wants structure. And then what he also said is that transparency is going to be one of his biggest goals. So when student athletes in brands or charities, organizations, collectives, whatever, when they make deals, he wants all that information to be borderline public, right?
It makes sense.
Is going to be hard to accomplish.
It will be, but I mean, it makes NIL seem less risky. You know,
100%, 100%. Now, I guess, and the antitrust law makes it difficult for their governing body and NCAA to legally pass the rules, and Congress is having a hearing on Wednesday talking about the NIL landscape, which should be very interesting. I might have to tune into that. It already happened on Wednesday. He said it went well. Sorry, it already happened on Wednesday. So it's definitely on their radar, and it'll be very interesting to see if they actually make a ruling on something like that. But I think transparency in that landscape would be really cool to see, and also because then you're not getting student athletes being taken advantage of, right? Yeah. If you have an established market, it's like the NFL. We can relate it to Lamar Jackson. Deshaun got X amount of money fully guaranteed. I deserve this much. You know, if the Cavender twins, the ones from Miami, if we have an up-and-coming twin duo that are female hoop stars at LSU or South Carolina, and they got twice the amount of followers as the Cav, you know what I mean, just in a hypothetical, they should be able to look at this deal and be like, hey, we have twice the amount of followers. Give us twice the money.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff. I wonder how much of that actually comes to fruition. It'd be interesting to know. But right now, I mean, all we can rely on is this like On3 website and whatever the hell else we have to kind of verify these things.
Your deleted tweet.
What?
And your deleted tweet.
And my deleted tweet. So I got April Fool's hoaxed, apparently. Finally, though, Trevor, the XFL Sea Dragons made a signing, made an interesting, I think a smart signing just today. Former NFL Pro Bowl running back Phillip Lindsay has signed to the Sea Dragons. What a play.
Smart. He was, I remember him
as a dog.
His rookie year when was he undrafted?
He was undrafted, and it was his rookie balled out.
He balled out. I was a big Phillip Lindsay fan. I mean, I still am, but I'm just saying, like.
So that 2018 year, he played in 15 games, had over 1,000 yards. Same thing the next year, had over 1,000 yards again. Took a little bit of a decline in 2020, only 500, and then from there, the last 3 seasons, he's had a combined less than 300 yards in his last 3 years. He spent
wasn't he with Houston?
Yes, he went to Houston for a year, the Dolphins, and then this last year was with the Colts, where he only played in 3 games and had 15 attempts.
I mean, I guess it's good. It was smart by him, too.
I think it's smart on both parties. I mean, especially because this is a guy that, like we both said, we were both Phillip Lindsay fans, and he definitely made some noise when he came on the scene. So for him to come into the XFL, this is the exact type of guy the XFL could benefit from, right? Especially for a Sea Dragons team who's already playing very well. Ben DiNucci leads the league in passing yards. They have a receiver, I forget his name, that's leading the league in receiving yards.
And they have Josh Gordon.
They also have Josh Gordon, who's not that receiver, by the way.
Yeah, but I know he's been playing pretty well, too.
She's definitely shown flashes.
That was good.
Come on. But I think it's a great signing by them. I'm excited for that. And big upset alert in the XFL realms. Did you see that? You catch any of that game?
I did not catch any of that game.
The DC Defenders taken out by the Guardians from Orlando.
I did see that. I didn't watch it, but
I believe they were like 6-0, 0-6, something along those lines. Like they were, I don't know if they had one win. That might have been their first win.
Orlando was the worst team.
Yes, and they took out who was probably the best. Jordan Ta'amu, starting quarterback for the Defenders. Pretty crazy game at the end there, too. And it gets interesting, too, because
it was
all
like
the new XFL rules.
37-36, too, wasn't it?
Oh, it was close. Yeah, it was real close.
I think it was 37-36.
Yeah.
I've been liking the XFL, to be honest.
Dude, it's good. I don't know why, because I follow their stuff, too, but I never know when the freaking games are on.
Oh, they're weird. They're like...
The schedule's so... I think that's why. The schedule's so odd. I mean,
they get it whenever they can get TV coverage, they got to take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They can't go in there with bargain, like leverage and be like,
yeah,
give us prime time or give us death.
They'll be like, okay.
Yeah, you're falling off the bridge, pal.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it before on here, but I like the XFL a lot more than the USFL.
100%.
Like,
yeah, no question.
It feels like much better football. Better. It just seems more professional all around.
It does. And I think not even just the football side of things, but the operations side of things is what has really stood out to me. And I'm also just The Rock slappy. I just love The Rock. He's awesome. Like, that would be it. If there's one person I could just sit down and have dinner with,
The Rock.
The Rock. He's badass, dude. He has explored every venture of life and continues to have seemingly an amazing outlook and seems to be actually a genuine person. And
he does. I mean,
I hold him and JJ Watt in that kind of regard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
JJ's a guy in that same category for me.
Yeah, and has had to earn everything that.
Very true.
That's what's so impressive about
Rock. Both of them.
Think about.
Yeah, I think both of them really. Yeah, because JJ's the beginnings too.
But think about his net worth. I don't know what The Rock's net worth is, but
let's find out.
He's worked for all of that.
You hear that loud ass keyboard? You probably can't even hear it on the mic though, because my mics are good.
Oh yeah, I didn't hear it on the.
No, you didn't hear it on here. Dwayne Johnson net worth. This says $800 million.
I believe that.
I thought it'd be more.
Oh, you thought it'd be more?
Yes. This is $820 million. Yeah, I think everything's a little above $800 million. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I thought he'd be a billionaire ballpark.
I mean, that's pretty close.
It is pretty close, and
he's far from being done.
But his whole thing, the $7 Productions, that's that supposedly was started because he had $7 in his pocket. That's
I mean
the story
I believe
tells.
the story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Dwayne, we'd love to get you on the podcast sometime, man. That'd be
Shout out Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Pretty sick. Let's get the boy.
I know you're listening.
Yeah, I know you're tuned in, sipping on your Zoa and your Terramana tequila. Eating his cheat meal of 18 dozen banana pancakes and 15 orders of sushi. He'll be like Sushi Train on Instagram. And it's literally if you went to Meijer, they got the half off sushi.
Yeah.
If you just took the entire thing and just plopped it in your shopping cart and then put it on a table, The Rock just
It's
chows.
insane. His cheat day. I've seen it before.
He's got to be on some shit.
You think so?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
I know Iron Paradise, the dude's working his ass off. I don't care, dude.
He's taking something. He has.
Oh yeah, minimum, just some testosterone. Yeah, minimum. He's shit, dude.
How old is he? He's got to be close to 50. He's got to be in his 50s now, right?
The Rock age, 50 years old.
Oh, right on the money. He has to be taking something to still be looking like that.
He's a handsome guy.
He is.
We'll end it on that.
Sounds like you have a little crush there, Kobe.
It's a little. We'll end it on that. Thank you for tuning in. Division I Rejects. We'll be back on Friday, back with Jimmy Martin, the D3 Insider for D1 Rejects, and with other great guests for you. Appreciate you listening.